graders, it's Miss Liz from the New Lenox Public Library, and I would like to talk to you about some great books that you might want to read. It's October, and that means it's a perfect time to read Halloween books, scary books, spooky books, silly books, anything that's got the Halloween theme going. So if any of the books that I talk about with you in this video you get excited about and you want to come in and find out how the story ends, just come to the New Lenox Library and we will help you find that book. So let's get started. The first one I have is The Hungry Ghosts. Alright, so this is a spooky tale of ghost hauntings and the curiosity of a little boy who wants to find the ghosts. The boy's name is Malcolm David, and he one night is visited by 3 ghosts. So he decides to find out, why are these ghosts visiting me? What's the purpose of this? And he soon discovers that the ghosts are really just hungry. So he devises a plan to find them some food to eat. So if you think this book is scary, I will tell you. There is a blueberry eating ghost in this story. Does that sound scary? Read this one and find out. Next up, I have The Bones of Fredphee. I really like this one. This is a story about 2 kids and a skeleton that they hang up in their sycamore tree. The skeleton's name is Fredphee. Don't be scared. He's only plastic. So the kids listen to those bones in the wind going clickety-clack, clickety-clack. And soon after Fredphee was hung up in the tree, animals stopped coming around. Sam the dog, he used to go under the tree and he would snap at flies. And now he just stays home. And their rooster used to crow up in the tree. And he doesn't do that any longer. Then on Halloween night, something strange happened. Read this book and find out what happened to the skeleton named Fredphee. Alright, this is part of a series called Boo Books, and this is called Witch's Stew. And this is about a curious girl. Her name is Aubrey. And she goes to the cafeteria at school for lunch and she finds a strange new cook in the kitchen. She sees that the cook has a pointy nose. She's got a hairnet full of silver hair. Could she be a witch? After all, she is slowly stirring a pot of mashed potatoes in a big black pot. When all the children fall under a spell and disappear back into the kitchen, Aubrey wonders what is going on. This is a suspenseful story with a surprise twist at the end. I think you'll really enjoy this one. Witch's Stew. This is another one in part of the Boo Books series, and this is called Night of the Digging Dog. And this one is about George and his new dog who is obsessed with the cemetery. And one night, on their walk, the dog digs up an arm. So check that one out. This is Andy Shane and the Pumpkin Trick. And this is a great series for readers wanting to get into chapter books. But it's also got good pictures in it and wide spacing between the lines. So this is a really good one to start with for reading chapter books. In this story, Andy solves the problem of bullies who are smashing his friend's pumpkins. His friend's name is Dolores, and they decide they're going to devise a plan to scare away these bullies. Will it work? Find out by checking out this book. This is called I Dare You, Scary Stories to Scare You. So these are a little bit scary, but not really too scary. It's got 3 stories in there, and they have a little bit of a silly ending. The first story is called The Cemetery. The second one is called Home Scary Home. And the third one is called Bones in Bed. Next up, I have A Dark and Noisy Night. So this book is about Peggy the pig, and she's the main character in this silly thriller, and it's a dark night with spooky noises going on, and it's keeping Peggy the pig awake. She cannot fall asleep. So she tries several different ways to calm herself, but she only hears more and more creepy sounds. When her doorbell rings, she is frightened, but she does open the door just a little bit to peek out. So I want you to be brave and read this story and find out what's outside her door. Next up, I have Lego Friends Mystery in the Whispering Woods. This book is a full color chapter book. So it's got great pictures in here so you can see what's happening. It's the Lego friends are headed out for summer camp out in the Whispering Woods. They build a fire and they roast marshmallows, and of course they share spooky stories. But when they hear the story of the legend of the phantom horse that haunts the woods that they're camping in, well, their time turns a little bit different. And I would like to see you read this book and find out what ghostly adventures happen. All right, I'm sure some of you have read the A to Z Mysteries. This is the same author, and this is called The Calendar Mysteries. This is a great series of mysteries with cliffhangers. It's great for kids who are just starting to learn how to read chapter books. So the kids in this story, they visit a hotel that has been transformed into a haunted house for Halloween. And the kids notice something strange is happening. There are plenty of people going into the haunted house, but none are coming back out. Where are all the kids? Are ghosts and witches real? All right, who's some ScoobyDoo fans out there? I absolutely love ScoobyDoo. We have tons and tons of ScoobyDoo books at our library. We've got picture books, we've got easy readers and chapter books. We even have some choose your own ending books that are ScoobyDoo, and they're just really awesome. So if you like a mystery and you like all the craziness of Scooby and the gang, come in and check out one of these. This one is Scooby-Doo and the Fishy Phantom. And this one is Scooby-Doo and the Vampire's Revenge. Next up, I have The Halloween Party from the Black Lagoon. I'm sure some of you remember the Black Lagoon books that your teachers have probably read to you. Well, this one is a chapter book. It's a short one. It's got some black and white photos in there, black and white pictures, so you can enjoy those as you're reading. And Hubie is the main character in this story, and it's Halloween time, and he has no costume for the scariest Halloween party ever. It's happening at school, and he has exactly $2.37 in his piggy bank, so not much of a budget to buy a costume. His mom takes him up into the attic, so there's lots of treasures and different things up there, so she's trying to give him some inspiration. He also takes a trip to the local library, and now he's full of all these ideas of what he's going to wear for this costume party. Find out what costume he wears by coming in and grabbing this book and giving it a good read. Next up, I have A Teeny Tiny Halloween. This isn't really scary. It's a silly, fun Halloween book, and this takes place in a forest, and there's a teeny tiny house in the forest where a teeny tiny woman lives. And it's fall, and all the leaves are just falling off the trees, and there's so many leaves that is literally covering up this teeny tiny house. So the house is now, it's dark inside and it's a little spooky. How will anyone ever find this teeny tiny woman? The woman is inside and she tries calling out for help, but her teeny tiny voice is so quiet no one can hear it. So she tried tapping on the windows and clanging her pots and pans together, and nothing worked. So she decided she's just going to bake some chocolate chip cookies. Meanwhile, outside in the forest, a witch, a cat, and a ghost are in the forest, and they get a whiff of something delicious. It's her chocolate chip cookies, of course. Where was this smell coming from? It looked like it was coming from a giant pile of leaves. So they decide they're going to dig through those leaves, and they found the teeny tiny house, and they found the door, so they knocked on the door, and they yelled, "Trick or treat," and guess what happens? They got chocolate chip cookies. So I'm just going to show you really quick. Here's the teeny tiny house in the woods. And then all the leaves coming down. You can barely see it in that picture. But eventually, so many leaves fall down that you can't see it. And there's that wonderful, delicious smelling pile with the house underneath there. So if this sounds fun for you, and if you like chocolate chips, this is a good story for you. Next up, I have Cat and Mouse in a Haunted House. So this is a Geronimo Stilton book, and Geronimo is a mouse, and he was born in New Mouse City, Mouse Island. He is the editor and the publisher of the Rodents Gazette. That's a newspaper. And it's in New Mouse City, and it's the most widely read newspaper in the entire city. He is the author of more than 40 adventure novels and the recipient of the Raditzer Prize for all of his books. Anyway, he collects antique cheese rinds and he plays golf. He enjoys telling stories to his nephew Benjamin. In this book, Geronimo is lost in a dark, spooky forest, and he found shelter in a crumbling mansion. The place is completely empty, or so he thought. He quickly discovered that it was haunted by cats. That is the most scariest thing ever for a mouse. This is Stink and the Midnight Zombie Walk. Alright, I don't know if any of you have read any of the Judy Moody books, but those are written by Megan McDonald, and now she has written some books about Judy's younger brother, and his name is Stink. In this one, Stink and the Midnight Zombie Walk, he and his friends are trying to earn money to purchase the latest book in the Nightmare on Zombie Street series. And they really want to attend the book release party. Well, another event is going on at the same time at their school. It is called a Million Minutes Reading Challenge. So you guys have probably done some reading challenges, so you know what that's about. So Stink and his friends, they prep for both events by making ketchup-stained zombie costumes and dressing up, as well as reading to get those million minutes. With all that's going on, Stink starts to wonder, is he being hunted by zombies? He does have a very delicious or superb brain. So stop in and get that one. And the last couple things I want to show you are some nonfiction books. We have a lot of spooky and unexplained things in books that we have. This is Monster Wars, and it's vampires versus werewolves. Battle of the Bloodthirsty Beasts. So we've got several books in this series. There's Ghosts versus Witches, Sea Monsters versus Dragons, Vampires versus Werewolves, which is this one, and Zombies versus Mummies. So I know some of you second graders really like some of this crazy true crime stuff that you can find out, true ghostly things. I have The Unexplained Ghosts. So, do you think ghosts are real or are they not? I think you should come in and check out one of these nonfiction books and decide for yourself. This book starts out with, what is a ghost? And it tells you a little description right there. And next up I have, in the Scary Places series, Ghost Towns. Some of the other books in that series include Abandoned Insane Asylums, Creepy Castles, Haunted Hotels, Haunted Houses, and Spooky Cemeteries. Well, I hope some of these books will make you want to come in and check them out so you can have your scary, haunted fun for Halloween. Happy reading!